Hello folks, how's things? So I'm just going to show how I set up my speedrun car before I do a speedrun. So some basic things to remember. You know, each car different. So when we say speedrun, you just don't get a car out of the box and run it. So you have to do some tweaks, setups. So that includes oiling of the moving parts, just like the CVD, drive shafts, gears and everything. Also make sure that the tires are tightly screwed, or let's say there's a tight securement. And all the suspension tweaks also. Make sure the suspension is not too soft or hard enough to withstand the accelerations, and maintaining the height of the car. So first, what I did in mine is made sure the aerodynamics is good enough. So originally this car came with some extra wings here, let's say panels. So you can see here, this one produces a lot of drag and let's say downforce, or yeah. So easy just to remove this one, and that goes like straight here, so the air flows this way, passing here, so no problem. And then this part here, make sure that they're like balanced. Sometimes it bends and it goes up and it might create some lift. Lift is the opposite of downforce, so you don't want that one at high speed because it can make the car fly, literally. And the suspension, of course. So what I did in mine is this side here is the proper setup, and the other side is not. It's for my fun runs. So we can see the difference in the height here. Yeah, if you can see that this tire here is much let's say lower, so we have a bigger clearance than this one. So this is the proper speed of the setup. If you see the A arms, it's somewhere here. So it's directed towards. It's more of the height is higher in this, and this one is lower. So what I'm gonna do is just adjust the droop screw here. So you can. I don't know if you can see the changes there, but it should change the height. Just adjust the droop screw there until it's leveled. I think that it's leveled. Yeah, a bit more. And don't forget the shocks. I mean the springs should be tightened all the way down here. It's like this one, the gap is really high. It means it's all the way down. So that's what I'm gonna do on the other side here. I'm gonna screw it down. So if it's tightened all the way down, it means that the springs are stiffer. So therefore it have a stiffer suspension. Yeah, it's more stiff now. That's it. So the front ride height of the car must be really low, like this one. It's less than a centimeter here, probably 0.5 to 0.8 centimeter. So it's normal. So if it breaks, I mean the braking, it should affect the ride height by just a few centimeters, but it shouldn't scrape, or let's say it shouldn't touch the ground as much as possible. But if it touches, then there's no problem with that. This plastic here can be just, it's really tough, so it can touch the ground anytime. It's better to scrape the front end than have the car flying and break everything, So that's the ride height right there. You can see the ride height from the side here. It's really low. It's like 1 centimeter here, and the middle part is more than 1 centimeter. When it goes to the back part, is 2 centimeters, I think. 2 to 2.5, and the back part is 3 centimeter. This one here is 3 centimeter. So why do we have to raise the back part as much as possible? So let's say the air, there's not much air, there's not much air to pass under, and there's much like space here. It means there's low pressure there, and the air is like less likely to create lift in this part here. It's really hard to explain like in detail, but it's basic. You know, if the air is more focused above here than under the chassis, so you don't want air to be like flowing under the chassis at all times, because it can create lift. So look at this one here. So these are the diffusers here. So from the word diffuser, they diffuse air to release the air that's going, let's say, passing the under chassis part. So also one trick. So the front part should be stiff. So are the back shocks. Let's say the rear shocks there. They should be also screwed all the way down and produce like super stiff. Super stiff suspension. Yeah. So what's the purpose of that? So when you throttle up, the car's force seems to like sit, or let's say, the car sits on fast, or let's say quick acceleration. It goes like that. If the suspension is soft, it can easily go like that, and the front part will tend to lift like that, and it can create, of course, what we call lift, or let's say the opposite of downforce, and more air will pass through the under chassis here and can cause it to fly. So we're really avoiding it to really look up. So the key is to make the rear suspension really stiff. So in this case here, I believe that it won't really sit that much upon hard acceleration, because it's really hard to push, you know. I can't even push it with one finger here. So that's a trick. Basic aerodynamics and suspension setup. So what's the next one? Of course, you will need a powerful motor and powerful ESC and cap pack, which is the one I got from Mr. Philip Joel. The Ripple Killer ATS cap pack, and of course the aerodynamics at the back here. So the original wing is this one, so it creates much drag and downforce. So out of the cheap materials here, I just made a more flat rear wing, but it also still creates downforce, just a bit of downforce though, just enough for the back wheels to not float, or let's say to have enough grip. So enough with the talk here. Just gonna show setup, and let's say speed runs. I hope I'm not missing anything here, so if I missed, then feel free to comment below whatever I missed. Okay, that's perfect. Ready for speed run.